mic'd up?
I think I'm mic'd up. Am I mic'd up?
I think I'm mic'd up too.
You're mic'd up. You're up. All right.
I think. Were you on? Were you on?
Let's go.
We on for this?
Let's go for a walk, Josh.
Let's go for a walk.
Remember to like and subscribe and ding that notification bell.
This is a great day.
I've been excited for this for a while.
Yep.
Myself.
Yep.
What are you doing out here, Joel?
Don't mind.
Good day to be alive. It's a good day to be alive, she said. Go away with the camera. Get me singing.
Look at this puppy.
My own private Idaho.
1997
Watch your back.
Honda CBR 900RR. Getting ready to get all spiffed up. New fairing kit. We're gonna make this thing
Oh yeah,
such
this is
a
gonna look
gem.
good. I like the look of the fairing kit. I think you guys knocked it out of the park with that selection.
I am pretty stoked, to say the least.
You don't see these things in this good a shape,
No.
especially with low miles. This is only 20,000 miles for 97.
I know,
Usually
right?
these things got just hammered. These were a popular bike of choice for the Star Boys back in the day.
Well, yep, and I can tell you, when I was that, spry motorcycle rider, looking at the magazines, who looks at magazines anymore, right?
What's a magazine?
What's a magazine? But these were the thing that kind of had the speed holes in the front. This stuff was just, it's just MotoGP inspired. Any of that stuff was getting you all excited and pumped up. I mean, what a cool bike.
Oh yeah.
So here's the deal.
These are those cheaper fairings that we always talk about.
Yep.
Very thin plastics. You know what I mean? This is the stuff that gives the aftermarket plastics a bad name. Absolutely. Telemarketers.
I'm telling you.
I could tell you.
So here's the deal. The kit, obviously, we got in the mail a couple weeks ago. But that's not all that's going to be done to this bike. We are going to...
There's more.
There is more. Wait, there's more. So we have talked about it back and forth, how we're going to do this. So with the current fairing kit, that tank is going to need some loving, which means it's going to get repainted and get some decals for it so it matches the kit. The other thing, now these wheels for a 97 are, I mean, they're really in pretty awesome shape.
They are in good shape. Yeah, no real bad nicks on them.
Well,
yeah.
so the thing was, do we leave them in black, or do we get them powder coated to match the fairings?
I like the second option.
I do too. It's still getting floated around. Phil's kind of back and forth. So that's going to sort of be the surprise.
To say the nice thing is, whether we leave them black or powder coat them, it's still going to look good.
Oh, it'll look good either way.
Being a black fairing bike, it's still going to look.
But to keep with that,
I know,
that theme
I know.
and that original look, it's got to be done. So I'm leaning on him, and I know he's kind of like
I've been
leaning
nudging
there
him.
too.
I've been nudging him too.
We're all kind of nudging him. So that's going to be a. I don't know. We'll see if we do that. I really want to do that though. I think it's going to look cool. But so everything else is really intact on this bike. It just is going to get taken apart. We're going to clean it up, assess the situation where making sure that we have everything for it, and hopefully get these wheels powder coated and put together one heck of a nice, beautiful 1997 Honda CBR 900RR. To have the ability to put something like this back on the road in its best form that we can make it, that's really what we do. That's exciting.
Oh, yeah. Yep, and somebody's going to really enjoy this bike. I mean, these bikes were, like I said, super popular back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny, too, because this was right around the time when Honda was really experimenting with stuff on the track versus street, and how they ended up with a 16-inch front wheel.
Yep.
You know, it's why
Was it 16 or 16 and a half?
It's 16. 17 turns too slow. 16 turns too quick. That's why in MotoGP they run a 16 and a half.
Right.
So
Or they did. I don't think they do anymore.
I don't know if they do anymore, but that was one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
That's why they went to a 16. But they learned that the turning was just a little bit too quick. So then they went bigger and kind of met in the middle and found that happy medium.
You can see, and you can totally tell.
Yeah, like I said,
this is cheap stuff.
Very thin.
So it's going to be really cool because of the stuff that we got from ABS. That's the real deal. That is good stuff. Look how flimsy this stuff is real easily.
I mean, and you can tell because it's splitting and cracking everywhere already.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it looks like they've already tried to repair it at one point.
They
with
definitely.
Bondo.
Yeah, right here they
So
did it with
they
the plastic
did the
welder.
little plastic weld. So they definitely, these plastics have definitely been used and abused for sure. Plus, find a fastener. You know, everything's different.
Right. Yeah,
You know,
that's
the
going to
fact
be
that
rectified.
You get a bolt kit from ABS fairings. You know, so at least we'll have consistency with all the bolts. This tank was painted at one point. Looks like it used to be a yellow bike.
Yep.
But you know, you see runs and everything else. I'm glad we're painting this anyway. But yeah.
So definitely a more in-depth project than just switching out the fairings.
Yeah.
But for this bike, I mean, you got to do it. It's a great granddaddy of super bikes. It's in that category between the original Gixxers, the original Yamahas with the Delta boxes and all that era. It was just a really great era for motorcycles because this is really when things started to take the change from the 750s to the 1000s. And they were creeping up slowly, and then all of a sudden, 900 RR to the 929, then the 954, and then it was the CBR 1000, and the rest is history.
Yep.
But this bike, this is why, I got a soft spot in my heart for it because it's one of the original super bikes that when it first came out, you're looking at it going, oh, it looks like a race bike. You can own the same thing that the guys are using on the track, and this bike, not necessarily this one in particular, but this model, they raced them. So they were racing these.
What's so sad, though, is now it's going to be raced in a vintage class. So that makes you feel old.
Last of the gunfighters. What's the traction control on this bike look like, Matt? That's about it.
That's all you got.
That's all you get.
Same with the ABS.
Yeah.
This is definitely a true experience for sure. So I can't wait to get my hands dirty on this one.
So we're going to be posting sooner than later, hopefully. The breakdown, some of the... hopefully we don't really encounter anything that's crazy on this that we have to do. But we just want to go through it as thorough as possible, how we normally do things. This one's going to get a little bit more of an enhanced, hand on it. Because with these older bikes, you really got to make sure that when it's all put back together, she's ready to rock and roll without any issues.
I mean, it's also being older and not as much technology. There's less that can go wrong with these.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's carbureted, but it's simple. You know what I mean? Honda is definitely a big proponent of keeping everything simple, easy to work on. So if it needs anything, I can't imagine it's going to be anything too extreme. Because just working on Hondas for, most of my wrenching career, they've always been real easy to work on. And parts are plenty because people love Hondas.
Well, we know somebody around here that's
in love with Honda,
who just bought another Honda to complement his other Honda. So, there you have it. This is the start of a beautiful journey. Cannot wait, as we've said a billion times, for this thing to get done, because to see the finished product, that's really going to be the most satisfying thing, because these bikes, boy, I mean... there's not a whole lot of them out there. I mean, they're out there, but...
And it's stock.
That's what I mean. It's all... Who has those anymore?
I mean...
And the other thing, too, now this one, no, it's not.
No, it's not even modified. Nobody cut it. Nobody did any... This is an anomaly right here.
Yeah. I mean, the pipe's not stock, but
No, but I mean you expect that.
yeah, you pretty much expect that.
Usually they cut this off. They got stupid little signals plastered to the side here.
That's true.
You know, I mean, this is amazing. That itself is amazing. Stock front turns, like they didn't do anything cosmetically aside from, you know, the body kit they put on there, but
Right.
it's all stock, which that blew my mind.
Yeah, there's not much for scuffage too. I mean, there's that little bit right here. So again, normally this is stuff that you see these things all scratched up really bad.
Yeah, big
But-
dent in the tank for sit-up wheelies.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
wheel-
Yeah,
you know,
they
this was
didn't pound the
definitely
tank on this either.
Was definitely a stunt bike back in the day,
Oh yeah,
for
absolutely.
sure.
How it survived through that.
I'm saying,
really
like, the
crazy.
fact that it's got no aftermarket except for a couple little things here and there. Yeah, that's astonishing.
Well, again, can't wait to see it. So stay tuned. And until the next video that we can put out on this puppy, safe and happy riding. Hey, and Happy New Year, everybody. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much.